Hey everybody, I'm Jen.
I'm Natalie.
Welcome to Vodka Culture.
Where we talk about culture and drink some vodka.
Yeah.
Don't be jealous, you can get some too. It's at the liquor store. Pause, go get some, come back and join us.
Yep. Yes, and we want to talk about our favorite female characters from TV and movies. This is completely off the cuff here.
Yeah. No.
We haven't compiled any lists or racked our brains. Or this is all in the moment. This is under the influence of.
Yeah, I think maybe we should each do one, and then we'll maybe have a tangent.
Okay.
I already got mine. You got one? We should say
I got two.
Let's just do one first. Like, pick your favorite of the two.
Oh shit, that's hard. Okay.
Well, because I have two as well. And
Okay.
It's really pick, but I'm gonna pick one because there's a very very
All right.
personal reason why I'm picking mine.
Okay.
So my favorite female character is going to be Christina Yang from Grey's Anatomy. Love her, and I have very personal reasons for that. And I'll get into that. What's your favorite?
CJ Craig from The West Wing.
That was my second. I knew you were going to do
Oh,
that. That's why
shit.
I left it to you. Because I was like, no, she can have that one. Because so CJ Craig would be my second favorite. And there's times when she's my favorite, but Christina, again, there's reasons why I'm going to pick Christina. So you want to go first or want me to go first?
My second favorite, since I took your second favorite, my second favorite is Buffy.
Oh, I love her too. Okay. So Christina Yang is my favorite for multiple reasons. But the two biggest ones is one that she is cocky about how good she is. And there's never been a female on TV, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, because there may have been, but she's, in my opinion, the first one that was ever that not modest about it. She bragged about it, she didn't apologize for bragging about it, and she backed her ish up. That being said, the real reason she's my favorite is because later on, she's married to a man that she's in love with. You can tell she loves him. They try to get divorced. They get back together. And then she finds out she's pregnant. And this is a woman who never wanted children. I'm also a woman who has never wanted children. Not because we hate kids. I mean, you can tell Christina Yang loves Meredith Grey's kids. Her best godparent loves her kids. She's really good with even Callie's kids, daughter Sophia on the show. She's great with kids. Likes them. Doesn't want to be a mother. I never did either. And the man that she's with is like, but don't you love me enough? So this is something that we compromise on. I don't want children. I never did. It would hurt. I don't want them. I'm okay with admitting I do not want a child. And I felt like, yes, another woman not afraid to say to her kids, not being, yes, she's in love with this man, but not being pressured by the man to it, not falling for, knowing her convictions, knowing what she wants, and not doing it. And those scenes where she talked to Owen about not wanting kids were like the realest thing probably I've ever seen on TV, at least when it comes to a woman, at least, and with reproduction rights. And her saying, I don't want a child. I can admit that. You do, so I'm not going to stay with you and hold you back. I admit that you do. I love you enough to let you go do that. But I don't not love myself enough to change my mind on what I want or what I need.
I feel like in that is an act of true love.
Yeah.
To say I love you enough that I will release you from this so that you can have what you want.
And also not afraid to admit, to know what she wants and to be okay with that.
Yeah.
She never apologizes for it. She's never like, I'm sorry that no. She's like, you knew this when you got with me. I can't change my mind for you. I love you. I wish I don't think she even says that. She's just like, I wish we wanted the same things maybe, but I don't. And
but she definitely said you knew this when you met me.
And there's nothing I can do. It's not like, because I get this a lot. What I always get from people, including my mom until recently, I think is always, you just haven't found the right man yet. Once you find the right man, you want to have kids. And to me, it's like, no, that's not to do with it. I'm open to finding the right man and being with a man. That's not the problem. I will not want to have kids regardless. I will not change my mind on that. And so I love the fact that she's like, no, I have the right man. I love him. We're in love. We're both smart doctors. We're on each other's level. But I still don't want kids. And I just like that. I liked that she was written to not apologize for it. And I also loved the fact that Meredith Grey, her best friend, was like, I had a mom who didn't want me. I know what it's like. So no matter how much she's going to love this kid because it's her kid, she doesn't want the child. Yeah. Leave her alone. And I just like Christina Yang for that. And I love the way she was written. And that's why she's my favorite. So now you get to go with CJ Craig, which I'll probably go in ditto a lot of the time. So I don't want to interrupt you, but go ahead because she's my second.
CJ Craig is incredibly intelligent. And even though Aaron Sorkin has been accused of sexism in his writing, I don't buy it because his female characters are always incredibly intelligent. They might be a little awkward, but so are the male characters. CJ is incredibly intelligent. She brings dignity and yet a sense of almost sexiness to the role. She's funny, she's humorous, she's down to earth, and yet she is so at the top of her game. And, you know, you can't help but love her. And she has conviction. She has morals. And she fights for her position unabashedly.
Surrounded by all male staff members.
Yes, she's surrounded by all male staff members who arguably might be more well-educated than her. I mean, she went to Berkeley, which is an incredibly good school, but, you know, you're talking about, you know, Josh Lyman, who went to Harvard and then Yale. I don't remember.
But speaking in front of the press, I mean, that is impressive, too. They throw questions at her, she has to answer them and not answer certain things and answer other things. And
the way that she interacts with the press corps is she's, you know, with the exception of one episode where she gets really frazzled,
they don't tell her. That's not really her fault. They don't tell her. Is that the same episode you're talking about?
No, I guess maybe there was 2 episodes. So there was the episode where she denied that anything was happening because she honestly believed that nothing was happening because they had left her out of the room.
Shame.
But then there was the episode where in the wake of the president's MS stuff, and she was like, I think the president's relieved to be focusing on something that actually matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the only time we really saw her get frazzled. But other than that...
Damn it!
Yeah.
When you pound, that was like one of the best scenes ever. When she slams the wall.
And Allison Janney, like, seriously, props out to her. Or Allison Janney. How do you say her name?
I say Allison Janney.
Allison Janney. She is phenomenal in that role. And I was so pleased to see her at the actual White House, in the actual press room. Did you see this video?
Yes, I think I told you about it, to be honest with you.
Yes, you probably did.
She did the
Yes, she did the opening address to the press corps at the actual White House. I'm sorry, I don't know the press secretary's name for President Obama, but his name happened to be Josh.
Yes, it was Josh.
Yes. That was hilarious.
Because I think going back to we spoke about the education, I just want to point out, because we're talking about the education thing, I think it's very apropos in that episode where Josh decides he's going to be the press secretary, and he creates a secret plan to fight inflation because he doesn't understand how hard it is.
Yes, despite his Harvard and Yale education,
he cannot talk to the press.
He's complete fuck up. And so I think
secret plan to fight inflation. I'm sorry, that's my favorite. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was on the West Wing quiz that I aced.
he's like, wait. And then when he asked the president about it, he says he doesn't support it. He goes, wait, let me get this straight. You created a secret plan to fight inflation, and now you don't support it.
Yeah.
God, I love Martin Sheen in those scenes.
Yes.
One thing I wanted to go back...
Oh, shit. There's an ember burning into my grass. That was not a euphemism.
I wanted just to say, going back to the sexism thing, I think there is, I will be honest, I think there's one episode, the crackpots and these women, where there's a little bit of sexism. Maybe not, I don't think it's one of those things where I'm just like, maybe not. It's where they're talking about how, and in their defense, they're talking about how great these women are, but it seems a little sometimes.
You thought it was patronizing?
Yeah, and I think he was still finding his ground. I think he gets better, and I do think, I'm not saying it was outright sexism. I just think sometimes it was. I think some just natural. I think it was more. I don't know.
I think Aaron Sorkin is a lover of women.
Well, no, and I don't think he wrote that. I think he was writing about. I think it was writing a reflection though of what happens. I don't think he personally was sexist. I think he was writing because some of it was they're bragging. They're talking about how great the women are, which is nice. They're not being rude or disrespectful, but in some of the way the men are in a huddle together talking about how great their secretaries are. And then to me, the thing was, this might even sound sexist. So I don't know if I should say it. It was, to me, a little, because they were lumping, I don't know if I should say this, Margaret and, I can't not think
Mrs.
of Janelle.
Manningham?
What's Janelle Maloney? Yeah, Manningham and Margaret. And then what's Janelle Maloney's character?
Donna.
Donna was talking with CJ, and they kind of lumped the four of them together. And I wanted to say, and again, it might sound bad, but three of them are, and one of them's the press secretary. One of them is actually senior staff, and I was like, "Is that bad to say out loud? Is that gonna have to be edited out to lump the four of them together?" Maybe CJ gives a little bit more respect. The fact that she's and well, that sounds bad too. They all should get respect.
But certainly, they all deserve respect. But CJ is certainly in a higher position.
It was almost like they were saying,
deserving of more professional respect.
Maybe it's just like our women are. Yes, your women are great, and yes, your secretaries are great, and they're great. I mean. Joshua has admitted, I'm talking Josh Lyman, the actual character, has admitted that he would not be who he was with Donna is indispensable. He gives her much credit. I'm not saying any of them are rude or whatever. And obviously, Margaret and John Spencer, Leo, have a fabulous relationship. Margaret has his back to the toe. So in no way am I saying they're disrespectful to him. I just think sometimes, like, I don't know if CJ belongs in that group. And I don't know how to word that effectively, but that makes sense, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know.
I think I do understand what you're saying.
Like, she's one of you. She's a senior staff member. It's like, maybe not the president. The president is the president, and maybe not chief of staff, but, like, you know, Joshua, Sam, and Richard Schiff, Toby Ziegler, and CJ, you four are senior staff. To put her down to, like, what your secretary is, to me was kind of like, I don't know. But whatever.
I didn't take it as a put down. I think it was just...
I didn't think it was a put down either. I didn't.
You know, I mean, I think...
And I really didn't even notice this until Joshua Malini on his weekly podcast told me to, so let's be honest. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I guess I can kind of see that. It did seem a little bit whatever, but yeah. But I do agree that the women characters are written just as, if not smarter sometimes. I mean, that episode with, now we're really going off topic, but with Donna and Josh, and Donna is trying to find out why we can't get our tax back.
Yes,
and Josh is trying to explain to her, and then she goes and buys them lunch, and is like, I'm going to keep your change. I don't think you can spend it the best.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, Josh is explaining to her why we're not going to get your tax back. You overpaid us. And Don's like, well, I want my money back. And he's like,
we can spend it better than you.
We think we know how to spend it better than you. We'll invest it in, you know, she's like, but I want a DVD player. And then later he sends her to buy, as his secretary, sends to buy dinner, which is, that's what she does. And she buys dinner and comes back and goes, where's my change? And she goes, I don't think you know how to spend it wisely, so I'm going to take it and invest it for you. And I think that's a smart, and let's be honest, they talk about how Donna and her college, she dropped out of college, blah, blah, and she's very well educated and very smart and very good at what she does. And I think that's Aaron Sorkin seeping through and knowing how valuable Donna or Janelle Maloney was, because she was not even supposed to be that high of a character.
Right. She was just supposed to be a guest character.
And reoccurring occasionally as the secretary, but nothing like she became, because that is her. She did that so well. So.
And completely tangentially, I think that's one of the things that's so amazing about television, is that it's such a fluid medium where really the actors' portrayals of the characters, not completely determine the direction of the show, but have a profound influence. Where I've heard Vince Gilligan talk about this. I've heard the writers of Ray Donovan talk about this. Where, like, when you see the way that an actor portrays a role and you connect with that actor, that really does change the course of your writing. You might write differently. You might, you either, if it's a series character, you write more in that actor's voice, knowing how they're going to deliver the lines.
And you can learn that as it goes on.
And if it's a guest character that you thought was going to be a one shot, like for instance in Breaking Bad, the character Crazy 8 was only supposed to be for that one episode, but they liked the actor so much that they kept that character alive for a little bit. For spoiler alert for Walt to Kill later. But they really liked the actor. And same thing with, forgive me, I can't remember his name, but the actor who played Tuco, they really wanted to keep him. Anyway, this is a complete digression off our point.
Well, we were going to we said TV and movies, so I guess we should probably go with the female characters from movies that we really like too.
Right off the top of my head, the first thing that's coming to mind, I like Anne Hathaway's character in The Devil Wears Prada.
Yes. I wouldn't even have thought of that.
I don't know why it just popped into my mind, but this is a girl with a dream. And her parents are, I think maybe I relate to it a lot. Her parents are kind of skeptical of her.
It's always her boyfriend, BTW, like.
Yeah. And she goes to the ringer because and the thing is, she actually doesn't think of it as a real job initially. She's like, oh, it's for a fashion magazine. I want to be a real journalist. And she goes to the ringer for it and, comes out with this inside the industry perspective. And she choose all that to pursue her dream further, even though she had a great opportunity handed to her.
No, I agree.
I thought it was a very empowering role.
I agree. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. I didn't come prepared. And I know there are a ton of them, and I honestly cannot. All I can think of right now are Disney movies. I really am. I'm having such a hard time. And I'm like, no, none of those. So I'm like having a really tough time. I mean, honestly, the one that I can think of, I can't remember her name. Did you ever see Revolutionary Road?
No.
Kate Winslet's character, whatever her name is, in the show, since this was bad, I saw the movie. Her character was amazing. She was married to Leonardo DiCaprio on the movie, whatever his name was in the movie either, too. That was their Titanic 2 revisit or whatever.
Okay.
And that was a movie where Kate Winslet's husband directed it.
Okay.
And so there was like sex scenes that I said, oh, that'd be really weird and uncomfortable for him. They're actors. It's okay. But it was about a couple that had been kind of stationary in their lives and whatever. And she encourages her husband, let's tell us and move to Paris. And they're going to have like this extraordinary life. And he's excited about it. They're both excited about it. And then he gets this really good job offer, which is just like a, office job to stay there. And she doesn't want to do that whole Midwestern suburban housewife thing. But he, and she does it for him or whatever. And then she gets pregnant, doesn't have a kid. And so she has an abortion in her house. Like back when they used to buy that little, the vacuum. And I can't even tell you much more than that, which is off the cuff. But I remember watching the show being like, well, this is a strong female character. I'm trying to think of other movies, and I just can't off the top of my head.
Well, how about I talk about Buffy? Wow.
Go ahead and talk about Buffy. I'm thinking about the woman, Robin Wright from House of Cards. Also one of my faves.
Yes. Love her.
I mean, that line, too, spoiler alert, most recent season, I don't know if you've watched
it. Oh,
it.
no, don't say anything.
Okay, my mom has agreed that this line doesn't really ruin anything for me. Okay. Somebody asks her if she ever regrets not having children, and her response is, do you ever regret having them? Boom! Yeah. Hashtag best line ever.
Yes.
Sorry, I won't say anything more because she hasn't seen that last season, but she's good. And this last season, she's not. Watch it. Anyways, moving on now to Buffy.
Yeah, I love Buffy because
kills vampires.
It's not just that.
That's
because she fucks vampires. No.
And it gives him his soul back. Come on, when you were in the 7th grade, that was like the best thing ever. She just had sex with him, and now he's an evil human being.
You know
Birth
what?
control.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer taught me everything I need to know about sex. Basically, you fuck a guy and he turns evil.
And wants to kill you and your parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't ever invite a vampire inside. Consent. Don't ever consent to a vampire because they will think it's consent all the time. She invites him. I remember that episode. She comes to her house and his mom won't let him in, but he's like, well, I've been invited before, so he gets to walk in. Even though vampires, can't walk into a room unless they're invited or inside a house.
Yeah, but once they're invited in, they're always invited in.
Exactly. So she had invited him one time, and he thinks he can go there anytime he wants, and he does.
Oh yeah, consent, bitches.
Anyways,
once
hashtag watch our first podcast.
What I love about Buffy is that
we're always going to go back to that first part.
she's incredibly ambivalent about her role, and I loved her ambivalence, and I think it's really reflective of her age. Being at least starting out, being 16 years old, being 17, being 18, being incredibly confused and ambivalent about like what am I supposed to do with my life? What's my place in the world? Do I really want this for myself? I mean, there have been books written about how well this show metaphorically represented the high school experience. And I feel that it really comes to a head in the character of Buffy.
I love Xander in that show, too. Though.
Yes.
He was probably one of my first male characters that I really was like, yeah, you're pretty awesome, dude.
I was all about Angel. I wanted to fuck the shit out of him.
Obviously. I didn't want to do that's the problem. It's friend zoned. But I thought Xander was pretty awesome. And that's why that whole show was so great. Cordelia was also a really good she was that fashion obsessed, but she was so great. I think you're right.
There's something about Charisma Carpenter that was really like the character was such a bitch, but you really wanted to like her.
And I think that goes to show that that's how
that's great casting.
And also you have multiple facets to you. You can be a cheerleader and love fashion and also be like not an asshole. Like, you can still have moments where you're like, yeah, the world is not all about me. And even if it is about you, you're still going to care about other people around in it. Like, I liked her too.
Yeah, with Buffy though, like, I know
she was
I love that, you know, despite her ambivalence, despite her hating being the Slayer, she continued to do her job.
And do it well.
And I think that that's something that we all should grab onto. I mean, I know for me personally, I should really take heed of that, to be like, you know, I might hate having a job, but I should have a job, you know, but like, and I should do it well, you know.
I think another person we should probably talk about, and I don't know if you watch it, but on Empire Cookie, Taji had her character.
Yes, Taji P. Henderson.
Shout out to her. I love her, but Cookie, that woman doesn't take shit from nobody, and she does what's right for her family, her career.
Did I say her name right? I might have to edit that out.
That's right. Cookie. I don't know if you've ever seen Empire, but she makes the show. She is the reason I watch the show.
I mean, Terrence Howard's great and all, but it's Cookie.
Oh, she is the show. It's about her. Don't mess with her family, don't mess with her money, and don't mess with her career. You won't have a problem with her other than that. But she is so good. Like, I remember there was this one scene. Well, there's two, actually, I remember. There was one scene where she catches Terrence Howard, Mr. Lion, checking out a woman. And she goes, "Are you interested in saving your empire or catching an STD?" Boom. Great. That was great. But what's even more impressive, this might be spoiler alert time, but something happens bad to one of her children, and I knew about this beforehand, but her reaction to it still invoked tears. I was crying, and I don't mean to be teared up, I mean tears down my face. So she's a good actress. And she's awesome. And I think we can't have a podcast about great women characters unless we mention her. Yeah. Because she's pretty freaking amazing. Okay, one last thing, because I know I'm going off on her. Another thing I have to talk about is the show Scandal. Do you ever watch Scandal?
Kerry Washington, Olivia Pope.
I was actually going to do her and Melly. So the first season of Scandal, very good. I recommend it to everybody. Second season, it's a good show. The next couple, I don't know what happened. But this last season of Scandal, oh my shit, women characters galore. First of all, you have Olivia Pope, willing to say, yes, I love you and I want you to win, but not if it means I have to lose. Boom. Talking about Melly Grant running for president of the United States, and she says in one scene about, I have paid enough. Great scene. But I think my winner is going to go to the vice president, Susan, and I can't think of her last name now, which is horrible. But she dumps the Attorney General, Mr. Rosen, Joshua Malina, and dumps him. And when she dumps him, she says, the vice president you've been dumped by the vice president, and she has work to do. So get out my office, homie. This whole season was just full of women moments shining. And I guess that's a big shout out to Shonda Rhimes for doing that and bringing that to
Love
the
you,
forefront.
Shonda. But you're on my wall of heroes, baby.
This season was so much better than the last. I mean, Melly Grant, a Republican senator, by the way, from Virginia, filibustered an abortion. Filibustered it. And Olivia Pope, by the way, at the time, was not a friend of hers. She was sleeping with her ex-husband, the president, and she comes to her rescue and brings in Susan to talk, to ask questions so that she can go to the bathroom and sit down. Like, it's just women together, unite. It was amazing. It was great, fabulous, best season of Scandal ever. Loved it. And those three women were pretty freaking amazing. So, to say that.
You, Natalie, are a tougher woman than I with drinking the vodka straight. This shit's too cheap for me. I need to get another Diet Coke. So I think this is where we sign off.
I think it's a great point.
Yes.
Just as we just said, to shout out to Shonda Rhimes. I think we end up podcast about women on TV.
Yep.
And we shout out Shonda Rhimes.
We love you, Shonda. I'm Jen.
I'm Natalie.
Until next time, drink up.
Cheers.